What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to do some live Pirate Rumble battles. So this is a not pre-recorded clip, so we're going to go through all of these battles and we'll see how the team kind of works. This is the team comp that I have come up with. I'm not 100% sold on this one. I really don't know what the best striker team is right now. I don't know whether you just go all in on just running Mono Int with Roger Ray-Ban, with Satin, and all of the other characters. I really wanted to showcase the Rocks Pirates in this video for the striker team. The Rocks Pirates are a very fascinating character that have some really interesting abilities. Their Rumble ability is honestly quite good, giving HP, defense, and speed all level 7 is phenomenal. And then also giving all enemies attack down level 5 if you have those 6 striker characters could be pretty clutch as well. And then the special ability, honestly, I think is actually quite good. Initially when I read it, when we first saw the data download for these characters, the special seemed fine. It wasn't like game breaking by any sense, but I think in actual practice, this special is a lot better than we gave it credit for, giving some attack increase, and then the fixed damage, and then if you do have those 6 strikers on your team, targeting 2 enemies for half defense, and then the 5 times damage is incredible, on top of the counter stance, which can partner up very well with Satin, because Satin is a naturally bulky character, especially once he launches that special. He can heal himself, so having the ability to make him do counter is pretty awesome. But of course, with the way that Roger Ray-Ban kind of work, is with their kit, you actually want to run 6 or more int characters on your team to auto-launch that Rumble special when he is KO'd. And that's important because strikers, they're a little rough. You need all the help that you can get, and I do feel like utilizing the full set of strikers, or as many strikers as you can, and as many int characters as you can, to get all of these abilities to activate simultaneously is important, which is why we've built the team the way that we have. S-Hawk on the bench is a cheat code. We get it, I know it, but we're doing it because we need all the help that we can get. We've got Broggy on the bench, but I also have I wanted to run Dory and Broggy, but again, having the striker thing that you have to fulfill is annoying, so that's why I put your Rogue on the bench. His int, his striker, he fulfills both of those conditions. I think that the sword character is going to be a great character to have on the team, and Neko is a bit of a weird one. There were some other characters I was considering, like Rumble Rare Recruit Smoker, I think is a pretty decent option. You know, Rumble Rare Recruit Kanjuro, Rumble Rare Recruit Sasaki, all are decent options. But this is what I went with because Neko does have a decent Rumble ability that gives us level 2 special CT, and then gives you more defense at the start, and then more attack towards the end of a game. So that was the main goal of the team, is to try and make sure that Roger Ray-Ban and the Rocks Pirates can be as good as they possibly can. So without further ado, let's go ahead now and get into some matches. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we can find here. So we've got a Dex team here to show things off first. Again, I'm not really 100% sure what the best team comp is going to be for the Rocks Pirates, and I get that, you know, Roger Rayleigh Gaban are a great character to run on striker teams, but the thing is both the Rocks Pirates and Roger Rayleigh Gaban both have a condition in their kit where Roger Rayleigh Gaban needs 6 int characters in order for you to get certain abilities to activate, whereas the Rocks Pirates need 6 strikers, and there aren't a lot of good int strikers, like, because, well, there's a decent amount of them, but trying to fit them all in a team can be really, really challenging. You know, so this is the team that we have here. We'll see how things go. I am going to try using the sword character. I do think that they're a pretty decent addition because they do have some nice debuffing potential against the opponent. The one that I'm not really 100% sure about is Neko, but I think Neko is okay. So we get the shield buff, which is going to make us a little bit more tanky, and being able to potentially get the confusion on Rogers we got there, that's actually really clutch for us. Because if he launches, if he comes up, that's going to be pretty clutch to get rid of his special. And there we go with the Rocks Pirates, actually doing solid damage and then inflicting that the counter debuff on our Egghead characters, which is quite good. And Ace is going to launch here, which is going to do a bit of damage, but we should tank it pretty well. One thing that I have noticed definitely is that the striker team is relatively tanky. They're very, very good defensively. Good damage coming in there from Roger Rayleigh Gaban. And of course, once they fall below 40% HP is when they get even better. So Cat Viper's pretty decent because he does give some bulk and some CT for the first half of the game, I think it is. He gives defense at the first half and then attack towards the end of the game. So I think he's an okay character, potentially. And here we have old mate Saint J. Garcia Satin with some special bind there. But yeah, at this point onwards, yeah, we're pretty good. There's not really much that the opponent can do against us at this point. And then sword characters coming in once again. Some shield, some halving of stats, and some confusion. Yeah, it's too hard for the opponent to come back from here. We just need to make sure that we get the knockout. Alright, here we go with Rocks Pirates again. Fixed damage. Defense down, and boom. 26k! 26k from Rocks? Goddamn. I mean, like, to be fair, there was only one enemy left, but I mean, that's a lot of damage, dude. That's a lot of damage, goddamn. Gonna be interesting to see how we go against a shooter-focused team. Shooters are a bit of an interesting one. I haven't really gone up against them all that often. All I know is that Usopp and Lilith can be very, very annoying debuff-wise. This team doesn't have Raizo Shinobu, which I guess is a little bit of a positive. They do have Fujikizaru. That character can do some decent damage. I know that S-Snake can also be very, very annoying. I think S-Snake has a relatively low CT, and I think they can do some debuffing stuff. And then, of course, Lucci and Luffy can do quite a lot of damage through defense. And I don't know what is doing it on my opponent's side of the field, but we do not have a lot of special CT. I believe it's the Usopp and Lilith that are debuffing our special CT right now. Unfortunately, Sword Unit just missed their special, which is a bit of a shame, because that would have been nice to be able to inflict that against the opponent. But, okay, what happens here? Dot damage, confusion. Confusion on Roger Rayleigh Gaban is a little bit frustrating. We just gotta tank our hits, because once we start launching specials, I think we'll be okay. But this is getting a little rough right now. 30% health cut. Man, this is looking really, really sketchy. Can we please launch a freaking special? Goddamn, dude. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, he's just above the 50% threshold, but that's still a lot of damage coming in from Roger Ray-Ban. This stupid effect again. Is this gonna action bind? Action bind. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh my god. Roger Rayleigh Gaban's dead, but we do get this. Absolute wave clear against the opponent. Scary thing is, though, is that they do have Kuma in. Luckily, his special CT isn't ready to go, so he does have to fully charge that special. And we do have S-Hawk on the bench, which is kind of like a cheat code. Well, here we go with the Rocks Pirates, though. Hang on. Yo, let's go. Rocks Pirates actually coming in pretty clutch. That was one thing about the Rocks that I was concerned about. I had a feeling that the damage that they would do, you know, after they halve defense and then they do damage, I didn't think it would be as good as what we have seen thus far. To be fair, they haven't launched their special a ton, but that part of their special has actually been relatively impressive. So I have a feeling this is not going to go very well for us. This driven powerhouse focused team is extremely frustrating to go against, mainly because of Blackbeard and Pika and just all of the debuffing stuff that you have to deal with. However, one thing about this team that I've noticed is that the front line doesn't really have like a ton of damage dealing potential. I didn't actually see the investments on their Kaido or Katakuri Big Mom. But I do know that those characters can be a little frustrating to deal with, but it depends on their investments. Blackbeard, of course, is going to be a threat, but their bench is disgusting. Such a disgusting looking bench with S-Hawk and Kuma. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a rough one, I think. But as I said, I have found the Strikers have been a pretty good tanky team, especially if we can get the Sword Unit to launch their special, which will enable us to get some bulk. But the fact that we have Blackbeard reversing and then Cross Gilder going to reverse as well, yeah, it's a little unlucky here, I think. Yeah, so that really does hurt. And then the reverse really hurts us even more, because it does enable the enemy's dot damage to trigger because they're not launching a special. So it's like a double entendre of like worseness, basically. All of these debuffs coming in from the driven squad, and then the Alba and Kaido character coming in. Okay, decent damage coming in from them. That's ridiculous. Okay, here we go with some specials though. Good damage coming in there from Roger Ray-Ban. And then Saturn, hopefully we can inflict some special bind. We did on 3 characters, and we hit it on Blackbeard too, which is actually kind of clutch. Unfortunately, the Sword Unit couldn't launch their special. Oh, that's so frustrating, dude. We do want Rocks Pirates to launch their special too, so hopefully they are able to do it. S-Hawk coming in and just gonna wipe the floor with them. S-Hawk is literal cheat code, dude. Literal cheat code. Katakuri Big Mom not ready to launch their special. Their S-Hawk is in. Kuma is in. Kuma is almost ready to launch. Hopefully he doesn't. He does not. And then, because of those characters coming in, they get to launch their special. That's so cringe, dude. Really? Oh my god. We just need specials to launch, and they're just not launching. Come on. Okay, they have half stats, so this is not going to do as much as I really wanted it to. We did get rid of Blackbeard, though. That is a positive. Who's ready to launch? I mean, once Roger Ray-Ban die, we get their special launch, which is we actually want that right now. So this is going to be massive here. This will probably win. Okay, I forgot about their revive. But we have a lot going on for us, so I don't think we're going to lose. They do have the counter stance and the provoke. That counter is actually going to go kind of crazy, but we need to launch a special. Okay, S-Hawk's coming in and we get the win. Man, that was really scary. I mean, to be honest, if we didn't have S-Hawk, I don't think we would have won this game. This was a really tough one. But then again, if you use a team like this in Grand Party, having a burst skill against a team like this, I think would definitely work better. Either way, we got the dub, which is the most important thing. So despite the weirdness looking, I guess, of this team, I do think that this is going to be an interesting one to show because it is almost, I would say, an optimal looking slasher team. It's not the greatest slasher team I've ever seen, but I think it's still a solid team to go ahead and test against. I do think that, you know, characters like the Bonnie and the Anniversary Nami are another character or a set of characters that you could potentially use on these striker teams just because of the debuffing that they do. But I do think, like, if you were to do that, then the character you would replace would be the sword unit, the Prince Groose Kujaku Hibari character, as they are kind of fulfilling the same role on the team. But the fact that this character is int, the sword unit, does synergize well with Roger Rayleigh Gaban. But either way, the fact is that the Rocks Pirates can just be run with strikers, basically. But the more egghead focused units you run on your team, the better the special of the Rocks Pirates are going to be. So Shanks launching his special first, giving them some defense, and then also allowing Nami to launch, which is going to suck because now we have to wait even longer for us. We just have to tank these hits, and then we can hit him back on the clapback. That's just kind of what we're hoping for at this point. The haste. Okay, and then at least S-Hawk goes before Roger and Whitebeard, I guess, but that's still a lot of damage, dude. Honestly, best case scenario is killing Roger Ray-Ban here, I think. Yep, they did die, and Hibari is gone again, which does kind of suck, but at least we get this, which is still pretty solid damage overall. S-Hawk is going to come in and help, and then we do still have the Rocks Pirates. We have Saturn to potentially special bind them so we can stop them from launching a special. So here we go with the Rocks Pirates here. Fixed damage, halving, and then 12k damage is actually pretty impressive coming in. This should kill 3 of them. Okay. Somehow, Zoro and Sanji actually tanked that. But yeah, from this point onwards, we're good. We are definitely winning this game. Defense, special bind, damage. I mean, they're special binded. I mean, it's GG. It is good game, my friend. You know, Neko has actually been pretty decent, all things considered. He's got a decent rumble ability, and then whenever he does launch, getting a 50% health cut is okay. I was potentially using Smoker, Pyrumble Rare Recruit, but he only really... He's a decent unit for sure. I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not 100% sure what the best striker team is moving forward, but the fact is that this team is working, which is good. Alright, I am not very confident about this matchup, but this is basically an int team with Nami Karina on it. We saw a lot of teams like this happen basically like around the 10th anniversary last year, people trying to put teams together, and yeah, this is a team that I have seen quite a lot of. Basically the int team of, you know, Blackbeard, Luffy, S-Hawk, Nami Karina, and then like you could put Pudding, you could put Bonnie, you could put Oiran Yamato, you could put the waifus, basically that kind of thing. I mean, obviously you can't put the waifus with Nami Karina, but you know what I mean? Like, that kind of team setup here. Dory and Broggy on the bench can definitely be an issue, but I do think this is going to be really bad. We're going to take a lot of damage from Blackbeard's dot damage. The special reverse mechanics of Nami Karina could be a little frustrating considering the fact that we don't have a ton of special CT. If we had the Memories of Straw Hat Nami character, I think that would help us combat this a little bit, but we'll see. I don't feel very confident, but I am genuinely curious to see how this matchup kind of goes. Maybe we'll learn something here. Okay, Hibari being able to launch is kind of good. Who did we confuse? Ooh, confusing S-Hawk is kind of nice, actually. And confusing the Yamato. Ooh. Okay, so they're going to reset his special. And hopefully Yamato will launch her special when she comes up, which is annoying. Okay, Luffy's going to do some damage, but it's okay. No force out. Saturn just missing his special, which sucks. Yamato is going to launch. It looks like Roger Ray-Ban are just going to miss. Oh, he just missed his special, dude. It was so close. It was so close. And then Blackbeard and Nami Karina are going to launch again. So yeah, this is looking really bad right now. I don't see where we're going to get our win from. Honestly, this is looking really rough. Too many debuffs are happening right now. Saturn is ready to go, but is he actually going to come up and launch his special? already getting the Rocks Pirates knocked out. S-Hawk is good to go, but the opposing S-Hawk is going to launch as well. Already in the last 30 seconds here, we need some damage coming through. We need some good special bind hit from Saturn. Okay, that's good. Getting rid of Blackbeard, special binding the S-Hawk. Nami Karina needs to go. We need to get her out of here. Luffy launching here is really bad. That's a lot of damage. We really want... Yes, okay, Roger Ray-Ban's going to go. This is massive. Nice. Yamato is going to launch, though. And actually, if she can knock out Roger, that would be kind of sick, actually. Hang on. Let's see. Okay, so they are down. And then Roger Ray-Ban should launch again immediately. Yes, alright, that's perfect. Oh my god, that's so busted, dude. What the hell? That is crazy. Alright, crazy. That was a really weird game, but I mean, hey, we got the dub. We actually got the dub, all things considered, man. Roger Ray-Ban with that revival, of course, he only gets that if we have 6 or more int characters on the team. So building around that is pretty important. I mean, and considering all of the debuffs that the opponents had in that fight, I am actually kind of shocked that we were able to pull out that victory.